It's Friday, April 25th. My name is Rich, and this is your 5-Minute Fix. Welcome to the 5-Minute Fix, where we take stories about pretty much anything from pretty much anywhere and try to give it to you in 5 minutes or less today. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe the fat lady has announced just a day or two ago, Billy Show Me the Money McFarland states that not only will Fyre Fest 2 not be happening, but the brand Fyre itself is up for sale. That's right. If you want to get your hands on a piece of iconic internet history, the price, who knows what the right one is. But in a statement a couple days ago, Billy McFarland, after of course having trouble securing a site for Fyre Fest 2, has announced that the Fyre brand is for sale. What's your offer? Fyre Festival's founder just announced he's putting the infamous brand up for sale. Fyre Festival founder Billy McFarland is selling all of the brand's assets, which I mean, what or how many assets, how much assets does the brand really have? After trying and failing to relaunch the infamous Fyre Festival a few times, founder Billy McFarland, 33, is selling the brand. He announced in a statement, the latest event was supposed to take place from May 30th to June 2nd in Isla Majuras, Mexico, but it was announced last week that it was canceled or never scheduled in the first place, depending on who you ask. You know what? That's savage. I never even really thought about it like that. McFarland, the festival's organizer, was convicted of wire fraud in 2018 for the infamous Fyre Festival disaster in the Bahamas in 2017. The scandal led to numerous documentaries and McFarland spending 4 years in prison. In a statement, McFarland said that he is selling the Fyre Festival brand, including its trademarks, IP, digital assets, media reach, and cultural capital, to an operator that can fully realize its vision. Can someone please tell me what cultural capital is and how the Fyre Festival brand has culture capital? I mean, I suppose maybe in a sense of the people who are on the internet and, old enough to realize the situation, maybe that's what they mean. But anyways, the hell is culture capital? We'll read a little bit of the statement. When my team and I launched Fyre Festival 2, it was about two things: finishing what I started and making things right. Over the past 2 years, we've poured everything into bringing Fyre back with honesty, transparency, relentless effort, and creativity. We've taken a long road to rebuilding trust. We rebuilt momentum, and we proved one thing without a doubt: Fyre is one of the most powerful attention engines in the world. Look, I gotta agree with him on that. How many people, so many people talking about it, people watching videos, all that good stuff. So he's not wrong there. I'll read a little bit more. Since 2017, Fyre has dominated headlines, documentaries, and conversations as one of the world's most talked about music festivals. That has never happened. We knew that Fyre was big, but we didn't realize just how massive the wave would become. That wave has brought us here, to a point where we know it's time to call for assistance or throwing in the towel. Call it what you wanna. This shit's a failure. And you know what? Thinking back on it, it could have been so good if he just didn't squander the money. Like, he had every opportunity to, do it right, make sure that things went off as they were supposed to, and he just couldn't do it. He's a fraudster. I have a link to that statement down below in the description. Let's take a look at him on the streets talking to TMZ.
I saw the news.
Yes.
Fyre Fest is for sale.
Yes.
How did that come about? And what does that mean, the Fyre Fest is for sale exactly?
Sure. So I'm sure you guys saw the news where we've been working in Mexico since September to make Fyre Festival 2 happen. We do this big announcement. We do a press.
Every time this guy speaks, it's like he's setting up for announcing something big. It's hilarious.
Conference with the government of Playa del Carmen. And then 4 days after the press conference, they publicly said they'd never heard of Fyre. So after that, we were, looking for new locations and trying to figure out the best option for the brand. We have a great Caribbean country that reached out to us, but I'm just so scared that the same thing happens again, where we announce Fyre there. The New York Times calls them all day long, and they're like, "Who's Billy? We never heard of him." So I think it was like the long and
this
hard
guy got
realization
security with him now?
Fyre is way bigger than me, and I'm holding Fyre back. So if I'm not in charge and I pass the reins off to somebody else, I think the brand can go and flourish. And unfortunately, I'm holding it back at this point.
Well, so you think you are holding it back? Is it because your name's attached to it?
I think my name is attached to it, and the combination of Fyre and Billy just creates such a massive media wave right now that it just scares a lot of people off. And privately, they're very supportive. They're giving us everything we need to make Fyre Festival 2 happen. And then once it goes public, people just get scared.
Yeah.
So I think that if a bigger company who has the infrastructure to handle this media wave can run with Fyre Festival, the vision could be executed. And I want Fyre to succeed more than I want to succeed. So we got to do what's best for the brand.
Yeah. So if you sell it, do you still want to be involved with it, or are you just trying to get some money to help support it? Exactly.
I hope they hire me. So since 2017, Fyre has been the most talked about music festival in the U.S.
Got to pay that restitution, baby.
8 years now. So I think we've proven the ability to get attention around it. I think we've proven the concept. I just don't have the capital and the infrastructure to make this happen on the biggest scale. And I don't have the ability to make people stand by their word.
Yeah.
And it's really easy for someone to say, oh, we don't know Billy, when things go bad. And so I need a bigger company to stand up who kind of has that backbone.
Did this man just finally submit and admit that he's just not the right man for the job? That's exactly what he did. Look, some people might see this as him making the right decision, making the good call to get out and just pass it off to perhaps people who can handle the situation. Honestly, I look at this in a way in which it's him trying to duck out so he doesn't get caught again for fraudulent activity. He says allegedly that he ain't handling the money. Sure, whatever you say. But I guess we'll see if all of the people who prepay for tickets, you remember, he said 500 tickets had been sold in the last video I did about him. He said 500 tickets had been sold. So I guess we'll have to see on whether those people get their money back and how this situation unfolds. But I want to know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. My name is Rich. This has been your 5-Minute Fix.